Yeah, guys, it's time we had a discussion. We need to talk about the state of multiverses and how we can improve it. I want to preface this by saying this isn't a bash on anybody. I really like the way the patches are going. I think they're definitely a step in the right direction. But there is some still pretty big, egregious changes that need to be made to multiverses in order to improve the game health overall. I'm just going to provide some constructive feedback and some constructive criticism so we can all discuss it and hopefully improve the game that we all love. Because I certainly love multiverse and I want to see it do as well as it can. But now let's get into the video. The first thing I want to do is actually commend Player First Games. I think they're doing a really good job of being a part of the community, not just behind the scenes and doing whatever they want. You can tell that they're actually listening to the players. With all of the passion that they put into the game, you could definitely tell from all the tournaments they run, and the community managers, and just they're listening to our feedback and things. It's really a blessing for us to have such inclusive game developers and things on our side. So big props to PFG on that. But now we got to talk about the other foot, because there is some things that are in dire need of fixing, and we've been left in the dark on them. The really big one that everybody always has an issue with, the servers have been bad for quite a while. I mean, we're just going to be frank here. This is not what servers should be in rollback. I don't know the technicalities of what rollback looks like. I'm not a very server tech savvy person, but I can tell when it's not working as intended. Back in Tech Test 2 in February of this year, 2022, the servers were actually pretty dang good. It was more common to have really good connection games with your opponent versus today, where it's more common to have bad connection games. Again, I don't know what changed behind all of it, behind the scenes, but I wish they would tell us a little bit more about what they're doing to improve the servers so that we can have a better feel for how the game is supposed to run. Offline, the game is fantastic. I went to LTC. I got 9th at LTC, the highest placing Harley in the history of multiversus majors. But online is just so different. So this should be almost priority number one, if not priority number one. Be more open with what's happening on the servers and how they're improving. Almost coupled with the server thing, now we're going to get into some hitboxes. Some hitboxes are really egregious, and they're only boosted by the bad servers that we have right now. I think there does need to be a hitbox overhaul because some of these are just drastically way too big. Specifically, Stripe Fair, Finn Down Air, moves that you would think are just way too big. Shaggy Down Air. A lot of down airs in the game are just way too strong, way too big. Like, yeah, we got the whiff lag patch here this last patch, and it was definitely a step in the right direction. All the patches are definitely a step in the right direction. But rather than whiff lag first, I would personally like to see a hitbox overhaul, as well as the servers. But with a hitbox overhaul, more precise hitboxes, a lot of these moves that don't hit won't hit. The amount of times that I've said, how does that hit? Either A, not even close to the opponent, or B, in a spot where I should not be getting hit. Like a down air from above the character, that shouldn't be happening. So when we tune in those hitboxes and get them precise and nice and accurate, a lot of problems are going to be solved even just by that. So I would like to see that be a big priority too. Now I want to get into some more gameplay aspects. In 1v1s, we'll break down 1v1s and 2v2s. Top level 1v1 gameplay consists of mashing your really big moves and then dodging right into them. The whiff lag patch is a good idea in response to this. However, how it sits right now, there's not nearly enough committal options. You can just throw out big Batman moves or big Harley moves, Harley down air, Batman up specials, things like that. Stripe Fair. There's no risk involved with using these moves. And things like this are causing the top level gameplay to be so campy and boring, where a lot of skill expression and enjoyment of the game is just lost. However, that can be solved. Part of it's the hitboxes, part of it's the whiff lag, but most of it's going to be some balance issues. They have so many things that are compatible with the character itself. Like, Wonder Woman. She's incredibly fast, so tanky. She lives to 150 plus at each stock, unless you get a really cheesy gimp kill on her. But on top of these, her moves are so powerful. That's the big kicker. All these top tier characters have so much put into one thing, where their weaknesses are just so not apparent versus their strengths. Morty in 2v2s, for instance, he almost has no weakness. He can cover the entire stage in a big bomb with his grenades. And that big bomb does 30+%. if you get hit by it correctly. His fair and his dare are huge, powerful moves that keep you in hit stun for ages. Coupling all of these things together on that character is what causes them to be so good. Velma's dominated the 2v2 circuit for ages because she can do it all. Boxing, kills, lives forever, runs away really well. When you have all of those things in tandem with each other, it makes it really unfun for the player to try and punish these things that shouldn't be all coupled together, if that all makes sense. I also want to talk about ranked mode. We had some betas of ranked mode just to see how it'd work out, what feedback we had, but now I'm ready to provide my feedback for the ranked system. A lot of these maps are not competitive. There either needs to be A, map bans, or B, a limited map pool with only competitive stages. We can't have Trophy's Edge 2, can't have Tree Fort, we can't have Mansion. None of those stages can be in ranked. That would definitely take away from the hardcore player experience. Ranked is more for people who want to get better and grind the game and be the best. But when a lot of those stages take away from that aspect, you're going to lose a lot of interest really quick. Bans or a limited map pool will definitely help in that regard. But on the flip side, and this can go into a more general sense too, there needs to be a better reward system as well as a better MMR system. Right now, the MMR system is completely stock-based, versus in Tech Test 2, it was more of a skill-based system. Right now, it's completely grind. J-Mafia, Anthos, the really big grinders out there, that's why you see so many inflated numbers. 10,000, 11,000, 12,000 elo. And obviously, there's always going to be like win trading and stuff like that, but cracking down on that, as well as getting back to a skill-based system instead of a grind-based system for MMR, makes it more of a level playing field. Not a lot of people have the time to spend that J-Mafia or Anthos or somebody would have to play the game. Some people only have a couple hours here and there. So we have to give them the equal opportunity to grind the game and be the best as the people who can put 12 hours in. The reward system also needs to be better too. In the last ranked beta we had, all that we really had was you just went up a tier and you got a different kind of toast. You didn't get any banners or any rewards for doing that. When the rank system does fully release, I would love to see some kind of reward for the people, skins maybe even, like some kind of thing that just notates that, hey, I achieved master rank. I am in the grandmaster rank. Something that rewards the player for their hard work and their grind to wanting to get better at the game. I think that will be implemented. It would be nonsensical to just have the toast change color or have like a little bit more effects, right? And coupled with the MMR system, we could have a really good ranked mode. Forced best of 3 and forcing people to stay in the game. If they leave, they lose MMR and you gain it. That will prevent dodging. You have to play that game. That is a great step. That is a great thing for ranked mode. Let's just put the final tweaks on it for the MMR system as well as the rewards, and we'll be off to the races. This kind of ties into like MultiVersus being a spectator sport. At the high level of 2v2s, there's a lot of stuff happening on the screen. It is a lot easier for an enjoyer of MultiVersus, someone who's just watching MultiVersus for the first time. You're going to have a way better experience watching 1v1s than 2v2s. If you have Marvin and like Bugs Bunny on a team, there's bubbles and rockets and safes and lasers and all sorts of things coming out of the screen with 4 players on the board. Where in 1v1, there's just one person versus one person. It's a lot easier to read and a lot more visual clarity is the baseline, right? Is the bottom line. But for 2v2s to not be so chaotic as a spectator sport would do wonders for the esports and like tournament and viewing experience for more casual players as well as the pros themselves. Now let's just quickly summarize all of the hot topics we discussed, and we'll discuss more in the comments. So make sure you leave comments because I want to talk to you guys about this, and I'll respond to each comment that I can. Number 1, the servers have to get better. Number 2, hitboxes. Kind of the same difference as servers. The hitboxes are gigantic, and they need to be addressed. 3, both 1v1 and 2v2s have their problems respectively that are easily solvable. We just got to put a little bit more effort into the foundational gameplay. The engagement with the community overall is really, really good. And finally, we talked about ranked mode. We need a better MMR system and a better reward system in general. There you have it, guys. Let's have a discussion about this. I want to hear what you guys have to say in the comments below. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and hop by a Twitch stream and all of that fun jazz. And I'll see you guys in MultiVersus. Thank you for all the support. Peace.